You see the headline. You know how this goes. Let's get into it. Coming from the Associated Press, the Trump administration is falsely claiming that tens of millions of dead people over 100 years old are receiving Social Security payments. Of course, there's not going to be any truth. That's why anybody who would fact check or correct them, they don't want anywhere around. Yeah. But unfortunately for them, they just gave all these people a whole lot of free time to do just that. Over the past few days, President Donald Trump and billionaire advisor, real president, Elon Musk, have said on social media and in press briefings that people who are 100, 200, and even 300 years old are improperly getting benefits. A huge problem, Musk wrote, as his Department of Government Efficiency digs into federal agencies to root out waste, fraud, and abuse. They're not digging into anything. They're using keyword searches and then taking what they're finding and presumably sticking it into AI. They're just willy-nilly chopping things based upon white supremacist talking points and conspiracy theories. A catcher in the rye is running the federal government right now. It is true that improper payments have been made, including some to dead people, but the numbers thrown out by Musk and the White House are overstated and misrepresent Social Security data. Just say that they lied. And remember, Elon Musk, with his musky maneuvers, the president who paid for the presidency, stood in the Oval as his son was shooting boogers at the Resolute desk and telling Trump to shut the fuck up and go somewhere, stated that he's going to get things wrong and he should be corrected. And his sycophants are cheering him on. What has the Trump administration said about payments to centenarians? On Tuesday, Trump said at a press briefing in Florida that we have millions and millions of people over 100 years old receiving Social Security benefits. They're obviously fraudulent or incompetent, Trump said. Where are we supposed to get these millions of people over 100 years old? Even if that was a long-standing scam going on, how would that work? How would that work? Because we have so few people that make it to 100 years old that we have segments of morning shows dedicated to shouting them out. They make the news just for being alive. Being sick and tired of everybody's shit and being alive. And I know y'all not really trying to crack down on fraud because the ones of y'all that's making the most noise are the ones committing the... Y'all already know. If you take all of those millions of people off Social Security, all of a sudden we have a very powerful Social Security with people that are 80 and 70 and 90 and not 200 years old, he said. He also said that there's one person in the system listed at 360 years old. British Museum, is that you? If you're looking for fraud within Social Security, look at the top 1%. Late Monday, Musk posted a slew of posts on his social media platform X, including, maybe Twilight is real and there's a lot of vampires collecting Social Security, and having tens of millions of people marked in Social Security as alive when they are definitely dead is a huge problem. Obviously, some of these people would have been alive before America existed as a country. Think about that for a second. Also, think about the people who don't have surviving family members to update their records. And think about the people whose paperwork was just turned in and you fired all the people that would be updating that. See, there's a lot of caveats that are not being told. And for those of y'all that are dumb as fuck and taking his tweets as reports, go find the coldest area in the United States right now and stick your tongue on a pole. On Wednesday, Social Security's new acting commissioner, Lee Dudek, acknowledged recent reporting about the number of people older than age 100 who may be receiving benefits from Social Security. The reported data are people in our records with a Social Security number who do not have a date of death associated with their record. These individuals are not necessarily receiving benefits. Oh, look at that. Oh, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Not to mention all the hoops you have to go through in order to collect Social Security. The people who do commit fraud, they go through a lot. To me, I don't think it's worth it, but hey, to each its own. I'm confident that with DOGE's help and the commitment of our executive team and workforce, that Social Security will continue to deliver for the American people, Dudek said. DOGE is not helping anybody outside of Musk. But hey, whatever. We'll continue with part 2. It'll be linked in the comments. Part 2. How big of a problem is Social Security fraud? A July 2024 report from Social Security's Inspector General states that from fiscal years 2015 to 2022, the agency paid out almost $8.6 trillion in benefits, including $71.8 billion, or less than 1% in improper payments. Most of the erroneous payments were overpayments to living people. It's almost like there were already safeguards in place to combat, investigate, etc. fraud, and to ensure efficiency. It's almost like you should learn how your government works before you try to say what changes need to be made and before you vote for certain changes. In addition, in early January, the U.S. Treasury clawed back more than $31 billion in a variety of federal payments, not just Social Security payments that improperly went to dead people, a recovery that former Treasury official David LeBrick said was just the tip of the iceberg. The money was reclaimed as part of a 5-month pilot program after Congress gave the Department of Treasury temporary access to the Social Security Administration's full death master file for 3 years as a part of the Omnibus Appropriations Bill in 2021. The SSA maintains the most complete federal database of individuals who have died, and the file contains more than 142 million records, which go back to 1899, according to the Treasury. Once again, win, lose, or draw, Trump is going to take credit, or at least try to take credit, for things that were already in place and safeguards that came from other administrations. Once again, before you start voting for someone, before you start just having blind loyalty to anyone, learn how things go. Because y'all will learn the inside and out of the sales schedule of your favorite store and nothing more. Treasury estimated in January that it would recover more than $215 million during its 3-year access period, which runs from December 2023 through 2026. So it's looking like DOGE was never needed, especially since DOGE is just a renaming and essentially a rebranding of something that already existed. Did you not realize that? So, are tens of millions of people over 100 years old receiving benefits? No. Part of the confusion comes from Social Security's software system based on the COBOL programming language, which has a lack of date type. This means that some entries with missing or incomplete birthdays will default to a reference point of more than 150 years ago. The news organization Wired first reported on the use of COBOL programming language at the Social Security Administration. And you would think, as they're being marketed, a group of highly intelligent tech employees, programmers, hackers would know this. Where's the efficiency? Where's the intelligence? Where's the qualified? Additionally, a series of reports from the Social Security Administration's Inspector General in March 2023, look at that, Inspector General again. It's almost like they are in place to protect the people, the voters, the citizens, the residents, for efficiency and to combat fraud and corruption. But who decided to kick them out? Okay. All right. From the Social Security Administration's Inspector General in March 2023 and July 2024 state that the agency has not established a new system to properly annotate death information in its database, which included roughly 18.9 million Social Security numbers of people born in 1920 or earlier but were not marked as deceased. This does not mean, however, that these individuals were receiving benefits. So the problem was already known. Solutions were being worked on. But then everybody's being fired. So efficient. The agency decided not to update the database because of the cost to do so, which would run upward of $9 million. And we know how fickle the United States population is. You're like, oh, this should be better. It should run more efficiently. It's going to cost this amount. Oh, don't waste my money. Don't waste my money. No. Let Trump pretend to be assassinated again, increase his Secret Service, and let them keep going to Mar-a-Lago on all of his golf courses and put my tax money into that. Because that's what the fuck y'all sound like. A July 2023 Social Security OIG report states that almost none of the number holders discussed in the report currently receive SSA payments, and as of September 2015, the agency automatically stops payments to people who are older than 115 years old. Yeah, y'all doing all this to live longer. You might as well stop, because they ain't gonna believe you alive. And if you are, they gonna be like, you should be dead anyway. We ain't paying for the hell. You could be at a nice spry age and they don't want to pay for that shit. But anywho, we will have our finale linked in the comments. And our final part. What are some of the concerns about misinformation on Social Security payments? Chuck Blehaus, a senior research strategist at the Mercatus Center at George Mason University, said, 2 cheers for Elon Musk if he can root out and put a stop to improper payments. But to pick the places in the federal government where error rates are high, Social Security would be near the bottom of the list, not near the top, Blehaus said. Medicare improper payments rates are quite substantial and soar after the Medicaid expansion of the ACA. And that's a lot of providers that are screwing the system on that one. By all means, go after any improper payments that are found, but let's not pretend that that's where the system's biggest financial problems are, he said. Sita Nataraj Slavov, a professor of public policy at the Schar School of Policy and Government at George Mason University, said the claims by Musk and Trump will make people think the solutions to the government's financial problems are simpler than they appear. And it risks people not getting the aid that they need and people forgetting that these are things that they pay into. The real concern is that this claim may mislead people into thinking there's an easy fix to Social Security's financial problems, that we can somehow restore solvency without making sacrifices through higher taxes or lower benefits, Slavov said. This is simply not true. Or making the wealthy pay their proper portion, especially since the wealthy want to draw from these funds as well. This is supposed to be you get back what you put in. But we're nickel and diming people out of what they actually put in for the sake of people who find all of these loopholes, and there shouldn't be loopholes to our tax code, in order to not pay. What does the White House say about the criticism? Carolyn Levitt, of course, the White House spokesperson, referred back to the Social Security's Inspector General report. But you just said not to trust them when they got, you know what? A previous investigation revealed the SSA paid at least $71.8 billion in improper payments, she said. The Social Security Administration is now working to find even more waste, fraud, and abuse in the administration's whole-of-government effort to protect American taxpayers. So if they already found the problem or were already on the right track, why did you fire them? That doesn't sound very efficient.